What does the surname Trump mean in German? And what does this wayside shrine have to do with it? Were the Trumpfs originally immigrants from Austria or Switzerland? I am a native German and I've researched this topic for the last months. Breaking news! I found out that the Trumpfs in fact were immigrants from Austria or Switzerland, and they changed their original name into Trump when they came to Germany in the 1600s. In an upcoming video, I will reveal their original name, so be sure to watch that. But back to the subject of this video. What does the surname Trump mean in German? In 2016, comedian John Oliver raised first questions on the surname Trump. Let's remember.
And it may seem weird to bring up his ancestral name, but to quote Donald Trump, he should be proud of his heritage.
This sure rings a bell. John's video has been watched by 41 million people. Now let's answer the obvious question first. Can't the surname Trumpf just mean Trump card in German as well? Yes, it does mean Trump card in German, especially in the dialects in the West. And this is the reason why they changed the name to Trump card when they immigrated into Germany in the late 1600s. Why would a person be called Trump card? Doesn't make any sense. Then you could say, yeah, maybe they were valuable people or important people in their village, and this is why they received the surname Trump. No, they were rather common people. Why am I so sure of this? The church registry in the village of Bobenheim started in the year 1585. And the first Trump entered that registry in the year 1695, and that is a full 110 years after the registry was started. This means that the Trumpfs were not important or valuable or wealthy enough to appear in that church registry earlier. But still, it is a last name that you don't want to have because it has a lot of negative connotations. So what's the answer? What does the surname Trump mean in German? The answer is a speedy answer, or a nagging troll, or step aside Donald, bashing, or a pot belly, or a strip of land. A field's end. Now most of you will say, wait a second, a cocky, fat, rude troll who owns a small strip of land? Yeah, that describes Donald today. He owns the ground lease on a small strip of land in New York City that is very valuable. This is an accurate description. Is it in his DNA? Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe not in his Austrian DNA. It also means that his wife is a fat old hag. He only owns few cents or worthless stuff. On the upside, maybe he's able to play the Jaws harp, but he likes to destroy the hopes and wishes of the people around him.
You're fired! Get out of here! You're fired!
Okay, now we're done with the meanings. Now you're going to say, wait a second, if I enter the word Trump into a German-English translator, I don't get any result at all. And now you tell me that the word Trump has over 10 meanings in German. That's where the roadside shrine comes into play again. The year 1599, or in the early 1600s, that's the time when the surnames were assigned to the people in the small villages Bobenheim and Karlstadt in the region of the Palatinate, where the Trumpfs lived in Germany. How are we going to do that? Pretty simple. We're going to take a look into the Dictionary of Old German and into the Dictionary of the German dialects. Am I living in German paradise, tell me? It's just lovely here. Let's get to the details. Let's check our first meaning, and that was the repartee, the quick-witted answer, the speedy answer. It is in the Dictionary of the Palatinate dialect, and the Dictionary of Old German says it was used back in the year 1570.
Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
But Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
So this means it is a valid explanation of the surname Trump. If there are a lot of quick and speedy answers, then it becomes something like nagging. And in this day and age, we call a person who nags a lot a troll. The Dictionary of the Palatinate dialect is not that elaborate, it just says zurechtweisen, but the dictionaries of the neighboring dialects in the northeast and southwest give the meaning to throw your 2 cents in. And this additionally confirms the meaning of a trolling nag. Now, is this how Donald can behave in the worst case?
The city manager there, he told us there had been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
television. But the people on television say their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Next, we're going to check the bashing, the smacking, the punching. Yeah, Donald was a tennis player, and Donald still is a golf player. Yeah, these motions are pretty similar to throwing a punch. So I am pretty sure Donald can still throw a good punch for a guy his age. Even at his age, Donald is 78 years old. Yeah, Donald, respect that you still play so much golf at your age. The expression, roughly translated as "I told him what the Trump is," means I really gave him a bashing. Tommen has been used as a synonym for bashing since 1600. Next up is the pot belly. Yeah, here we can see a picture of Donald next to the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, and we can all agree that Donald had several pounds too many. So Donald, if you become president again, please promise us to work over your meal plan, or else you will not be among us very long.
Okay, we're gonna do 2 dozen. We'll just random assortment of stuff here.
The Dialects Dictionary says the word Trumpf is used in the sense of thick belly, and the Dictionary of Standard German says the word Trommel has been used to describe a big belly since the very early 1600s. And now let's get back to the Fields End. Yeah, Fields End is a rather common last name in England. Apparently there's a cluster between Sheffield and Leeds. In the Palatinate we have a similar small cluster of people named Trumpf. The Dictionary of the Palatinate dialect says it refers to a tailpiece of land after petitioning. The Dictionary of Standard German says this is a very old word. It has been used in the year 1333 in the region Alsace, which is just south of the Palatinate. In sum, this gives another positive check for our suggested explanation. Is this everything? No, because people in small villages tend to give each other nicknames. In English, this would be something like Trumpy, and in the Palatinate, it would be something like Tumbi or Tumbel. And this makes everything more complicated because the word Tumbel has at least 3 meanings of its own, aside of being the nickname of Trumpf. The first meaning is a frump, and this rhymes with the English trump. A frump is something like an old bat or an old hag. In the Palatinate, Trumbel can also mean fat woman or fat lady. And this makes it kind of obvious that Trumpf at no point in time was a surname that a woman in the Palatinate wanted to have, because it's just very easy to make fun of it by turning Trumpf into Trumbel, insinuating a fat old hag. Another meaning of Trumbel is trumpery, and this means worthless stuff, few cents, a trifling mite, a very small amount of money, so small it's almost ridiculous. Donald's companies went bankrupt 4 to 6 times in his life. The third meaning of the word Trumbel is a Jaws harp. But does this really mean a Jaws harp player? No. In the dialect, they have a very specific meaning for playing the Jaws harp. The word trommelen, playing the Jaws harp, most of the time means to reject someone's wishes in a very harsh way. And now the next thing that you want to ask, yeah, can it just mean something like big thingy? This would mean something like a big Donald or Hunk Donald. This would be possible in modern German. In modern German we can say, yeah, is ein Trumpf von einem Mann, or he's a hunk of a man, or he's a hulk of a man.
Enough was enough!
In the German of the year 1600, people wouldn't have known what you were talking about if you said something like this.
And I had 94% negative coverage.
93% negative.
I exaggerated.
You got an extra.
At the end of this video, I want to inform you that Sabine Hossenfelder was born in Frankfurt and she spent most of her life in the Frankfurt area. This is very close to the Palatinate, so Sabine can understand the dialect of the Palatinate just like a native. And this guarantees that the information that you saw here is real and it can be documented. Because if I had made the slightest mistake, Sabine would not hesitate to debunk me.
But I say that I am much better looking than her. I think I'm much better.
Oh Donald, don't get her angry in the end of a video. Others have made this fatal mistake before. But let us get our mind off the US election for a second. Why don't we all think about Sabine Hossenfelder for a moment? Yeah, people, I got a big project coming up on the YouTube. I will explain how the free will can exist in physics. Sabine has made a very strong statement that she thinks the free will cannot exist in physics. I say it does exist, so I hope I see you in my future video. Yeah, that was it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. See you then. Bye.
They said, no, her biggest advantage is that she's a beautiful woman. I'm going, huh, I never thought of that. I'm better looking than she is.